We want to join the USA. Do you have slaves? Yes, we do, and we're proud of it. Sorry, we don't need any more slave states.
At the dawn of discovery, the world was far smaller than we know it now. In 1492, when Christopher Columbus set sail, he wasn't searching for a new world. He was chasing an old dream, a shortcut to Asia, a faster path to gold, spices, and power.
Hey, your majesties, I just got back from Asia.
Great! Where are the spices?
But what he stumbled upon was something far greater, a continent no one in Europe had truly imagined. The irony? For more than 100 years, no one cared. North America was overlooked, dismissed as empty, cold, and worthless. The Spanish had found gold in the south, silver in the Andes, and entire civilizations to conquer. The English, Portuguese, and French all turned their gaze elsewhere. But that neglect would one day become the foundation of a superpower. When Spain and Portugal divided the world, their ambitions were clear. Spain took the west, Portugal the east. Spain conquered, converted, and claimed, while Portugal sailed to Asia, building a global trade empire. But in the north, in the forests and rivers of an ignored land, a different kind of story was quietly forming. By the 1600s, England finally made its move. Jamestown was born, hungry, desperate, and clinging to survival. The Pilgrims followed, strict and disciplined, building lives on faith and hard soil. What started as a few scattered colonies soon became a thriving coastline of ambition. To the west, the French claimed everything they could, from the Great Lakes down to Louisiana. But when the time came to decide who truly owned America or answer the question, the French and Indian War left the map redrawn. France was gone, Britain was victorious and broke. So the empire turned to its colonies for payment. Taxes, duties, and laws came down hard. And the colonies, once proud of their British blood, rebelled. July 4th, 1776, the Declaration was signed. A new country had spoken its first words, the United States of America. But those words meant nothing without survival. The revolution dragged on for years, costing lives, fortune, and unity. Yet when the smoke cleared, the impossible had happened. A group of farmers and thinkers had defeated the most powerful empire on earth. But freedom came with chaos. The young nation was falling apart, 13 states arguing like siblings. So they wrote again. A new constitution, a new government, and in 1789, a new leader, George Washington. Still, America was small, fragile, surrounded by rivals, and uncertain of its destiny. Until Napoleon Bonaparte changed everything. In Europe, he was conquering kingdoms. In the Americas, he held a vast secret, Louisiana. When the U.S. offered to buy New Orleans, Napoleon shocked the world by selling it all.
Can build our empire in America after we defeat the British. But if the Americans discover our plans for America, they will support Britain, which could be fatal. But if we sell Louisiana to the Americans, they will be our friends forever, and Britain will be ours.
For $15 million, America doubled in size overnight. And that was just the beginning. With land came people, settlers moving west, families with 7, 8, 10 children, hungry for space. They pushed across the plains, through forests and mountains, claiming everything they could. In their eyes, it was destiny, manifest destiny, a divine right to rule from sea to sea. Florida came next, bought from Spain. Then Texas, once part of Mexico, fought for independence and joined the Union. War followed, brutal and swift. When the dust settled, America had taken nearly half of Mexico's land. California, Arizona, Nevada, all now under the stars and stripes. By the mid-1800s, the map was full. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, the dream was complete. Gold glittered in California. Farmers thrived in Oregon. The country was rich, confident, unstoppable. But deep within, a storm was brewing. The North and South were divided, not by geography, but by morality. Slavery tore at the nation's soul. And when Abraham Lincoln rose to power, the Union broke apart. The Civil War that followed would define America's identity. Brother fought brother. Entire cities burned. But in the end, the Union stood. The slaves were freed, and the country was whole again, scarred, but stronger. Then came expansion beyond borders. Alaska was bought from Russia, Seward's Folly, they called it, until gold was found there too. Soon after, Hawaii's islands entered the American sphere, strategic and tropical, the future key to the Pacific. America's leaders faced a question: should we stay isolated or step onto the world stage? That question was answered in 1898, when an explosion in Havana Harbor ignited the Spanish-American War. In months, the U.S. captured Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines, dismantling the empire Spain had ruled for centuries. And suddenly, America was no longer a regional power. It was global, with bases across oceans, a modern navy, and a canal in Panama that linked its might from one sea to another. From a forgotten colony to a world superpower, it had taken just over a century. Through war, ambition, faith, and contradiction, America had claimed a role no one expected it to play. The richest nation, the strongest army. But beneath the glory, one truth has always remained. Power was never given to America. It was taken, piece by piece, generation by generation, built on belief, risk, and relentless expansion. And that is how America became the most powerful nation in history.